Hey, shalom, shalom. Just checking my sound here, bear with a brother. All right, all right, all right. It's your brother Kawas Malak from the tribe of Judah. Out here on the highways and the hedges and the byways and the gaps through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The promise of the downfall of America with a triple K, as well as usher in the coming of our Lord and Savior Yahweh. Before I get started with this live camp, I want to give all praise and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Kwadash. Once again, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone that taught me this truth that rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful 144 elect. Title of this camp is, what did I title it? His will, his purpose, his will, his plan. I pray that it's edifying to the point. The two most important things you'll ever know as a Hebrew Israelite in this knowledge, in this truth, is the name of our power, which is Yahweh, and the name of his son, which is Yahweh Shai. Esau Edom, E-S-A-U. Esau Edom is the so-called white man. He's not white, but he's red. He's our red, sinister, Hebrew, big brother enemy, Esau Edom. We are Jacob of the Bible. You got that good. My preface precept is in the book of Acts, chapter 14. No, Acts chapter 13. The book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 22. Let me do something real quick. Bear with me. Go to the book of Acts, chapter 13. Acts chapter 13, verse 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, and to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. You see? And we are coming in that same spirit of King David to fulfill all his will, his plan, his purpose. That is our responsibility and duty in life. Let me prove something real quick. Go to, bear with me. Go to, let me see where it's at. I believe that's Ecclesiastes 12. Bear with me. Bear with me. The wind's kind of blowing out here, so bear with a brother. Right. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13 and 14. Acts chapter 14, Slakia. Acts chapter 13, verse 22 led me to Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13 and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. This is the conclusion of the whole matter of life, his plan, his purpose, right? Fear Yahweh. Fear Yahweh. It doesn't, as you take note that it does not say love Yahweh. It says fear Yahweh. Because see, if you fear Yahweh, you will do his will. You will do his purpose. You will do his plan. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. Point blank, period. That's his will. That's his instruction. That's his plan. That's his purpose. For you to keep the instruction, to keep the purpose, to keep the plan, to keep his will, to do his will, to do the commandments, to do the instructions. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Verse 14, for Yahweh shall guarantee bring every work into judgment. So if you do his will, his commandments, his purpose, his plan, if you follow his instructions, he will bring every work of that which you've done correctly. He will bring every into judgment. So if he's going to bring every work into judgment on the good side, if you keep his commandments, do his will, do his purpose, do his commands, fulfill his instructions, just imagine what he's going to do for those that do not do that. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 14. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing. This is a secret thing. In the highways and the byways, week in and week out, regardless of the weather, regardless of the elements, doing the sit downs, studying, dying daily to your flesh, ruling your home in righteousness, keeping the commandments to the best of your ability. Did I already say dying to your flesh daily? He will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. And I just said that. The Lord willing, us doing his will, the Lord willing, us doing his will, the 144K men saints and the 1/3, Lord willing, us doing his will, which is good, he will bring that work, and he will bring that work into judgment when he cracked these clouds. And Lord willing, I'm part of that number of men that will not be judged via ICBM thermonuclear missile fire, will not be put to death during Jacob's trouble. What is Jacob's trouble? No jab, no job, medical martial law, civil unrest, a purge, a manufactured famine. So that was Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13 and 14. What led me there was Acts chapter 13, verse 22. Let's go to Isaiah 25. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 25. Isaiah 25, verse 7. Isaiah 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain, the mountain of America. In the scriptures, mountain means governments. And sometimes it does mean a literal mountain, a physical mountain, but in this case, it's referring to a government, the government of America. Govern means, govern mean, damn, how does it go? Is it like, it's something about your mind, your mental, ruling of the mind, something like that, government. So the ruling of the mind of America, the government, the monument, the mountain of America, America's government. Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue what that means. It'll come to me in a minute. But I'm in Isaiah 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain of America, this government, the face of the covering cast over all people. And that, how is he destroying in this mountain of America, this government, the covering cast over all people? The Most High is reminding through his men of Great Millstone and the men of Black Doctrine, he's reminding everyone on planet Earth who they are, starting with the Israelites. You blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and Haitians. You are the tribes of Israel. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. He's removing that covering cast of who we are. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. The so-called white man, Esau Edom. The European white man, the American white man is Esau Edom. Those fake JEWs over in the land of Israel, our land of Israel, Tel Aviv and Bethlehem. Those fake JEWs, they are Amalek. Those Ethiopians are Hamites, Philistines. The Chinese is Moab. The Japanese is Ammon. And so on and so forth. So the Most High is destroying the covering, destroying in this mountain of America, this government, the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Verse 8, Isaiah 25. He will swallow up death in victory. When he cracked these clouds is the victory. When we get beamed up into the chariot, and Lord willing, I'm part of that number, when we get beamed up into a chariot, what the world calls a spaceship, that is victory. He's going to swallow up death, meaning we will be made immortal. We will be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. We will be made immortal. This incorruptible will put on this corruptible flesh will put on incorruptible. This mortal will put on immortality. He will swallow up death in victory when he cracked these clouds. And the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai power will wipe away all tears from all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth. And the rebuke of his people is that the men of Israel, or the men of the Israelite men, is a drug addict, a pimp, a jailbird, a thief. Our women are whores and adulteresses and sorceresses and gypsies, right? It says, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it. Point blank, period. Verse 9, Isaiah 25. And it shall be said in that day when he cracked these clouds, lo, look, this is our power. Can't wait for us to say, this is our power. We have waited for him. And we're going to be in the new kingdom saying, thank you, Yahweh. The water, Yahweh, you are our power. We waited for you. We waited for you. Let me prove that. Hold your place in Isaiah 25, verse 9, and go to the Apocrypha. I got two of them. Let's go to chapter 2, 2nd Esdras chapter 2 real quick. I'm backing up Isaiah 25 and 9. 2nd Esdras 2. Second Esdras 2, verse 47. Let me read Isaiah 25 and 9 again. Isaiah 25 and 9. And it shall be said in that day, Yahweh shall crack these clouds in the new kingdom. Lo, this is our power. We have waited for him. He will save us. This is the Lord Yahweh. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation, his deliverance. Right? Let's prove that. Go to 2nd Esdras 2, verse 47. 2nd Esdras 2, verse 47. So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. We have confessed that Yahweh Shai is the Son of Yahweh to the world via the internet, via the highways and the byways. We have professed that Yahweh Shai is the Son of Yahweh. Then began I greatly to commend them. This is Ezra commending the men that stood stiffly, that waited on Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord Yahweh. You see? So we confess that Yahweh Shah is the son of Yahweh to the world via the internet. Now, go from 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 44 to 2nd Esdras 7. I believe that's, let me see, is it 2nd Esdras? It could be back in that chapter 2, bear with me. Bear with me. Right, no, I'm sorry. Stay in 2nd Esdras chapter 2. Go back to 2nd Esdras chapter 2. Let's move up. Start at verse 34. 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 34. Backing up that Isaiah 25 and 9, backing up that 2nd Esdras 2, verse 47. I'm in 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 34 through 38. 2nd Esdras chapter 34, 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 34 through 38. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, the other nations, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting life. And Salakia, that the heathen referring to you 2/3. Let me correct myself. In this verse, the heathen is referring to the 2/3. Who are the 2/3? You unbelieving Negro, Christian, Latino, prosperity gospel lovers. You seizure bourgeois lovers. You are to look for your shepherd. And your shepherd is Yahweh Shai, who's a melanated man with a beard and afro and attitude. Okay? So look for your shepherd. For we have waited for him. Going back to Isaiah 25 and 9. I'm in 2nd Esdras 2, verse 34. And therefore I say unto you, oh, you heathen, you 2/3 Negro, Latino, Christian, backslider, prosperity gospel lover, seizure bourgeois lovers, you swine flesh eaters, you adulteresses and adulterers. It says that hear and understand, look for your shepherd, point blank period, ding dong, look for your shepherd, Yahweh Shai. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand. That shall come in the end of the world. And we're at the end of the world now. We are in the last seconds of the last days. Verse 35. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom. Point blank period. That's why we're doing his will, doing his purpose, doing his plan, keeping the statutes and commandments to the best of our ability. So we are to be ready for the end. Therefore, we are to be ready for the reward of the kingdom, immortality, incorruptible flesh, can't die, won't die, super men, super women, super babies, right? Kings and priests and princesses, right? For the everlasting light, that's Yahweh Shai, shall shine upon you forevermore in the new kingdom. That is part of his will. That's part of his plan. Verse 36, here's my point. 2nd Esdras 2, verse 36. Flee the shadow of this world. Receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify of my Savior openly. Verse 37. Oh, receive the gift that is given you and be glad of immortality, of incorruptible flesh. Giving thanks unto him that has called you to the heavenly kingdom. You Israelites, you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and Haitians. Verse 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord Yahweh, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua. And that number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord are 144,000 elect men, saints, as well as the 1/3 men, women, and children. Back to Isaiah 25 and 9. Isaiah 25, verse 9. And it shall be said in that day, lo, this is our power. We waited for him. He will save us. This is the Lord Yahweh. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. Point blank period. So that was Isaiah 25, verse 7 through 9. Beautiful. Go to Proverbs. Go to Psalms 40. Go to the book of Psalms, chapter 40. The book of Psalms, chapter 40. Start at verse 8. Psalms 40, start at verse 7. Psalms 40, start at verse 7. Then said I, lo, look, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me, Yahweh Shai, the son of Yahweh, who's a melanated man with a beard and afro and attitude. He comes in the volume of the book. Point blank period. Not Caesar Borgia, not Dalai Lama Buddha, Ahai, Ashai, Yeshua, Yahuwah, Yahweh Shai comes in the volume of the book. This is the book. Verse 8. I delight to do his will. Point blank period. Do you delight? Are you excited? Are you fond of? Do you enjoy to do his will? Studying, reading, dying daily to your flesh, doing videos, hitting the highways and the byways, princesses, being feminine, modest, docile, quiet, in order. Do you enjoy it? Do you delight to do his will? You should, you ought to, I recommend it. Psalms 40, verse 8. I delight to do his will, oh my power. This is King David. And I read in Acts chapter 13, verse 22, that King David did his will. He was a man after Yahweh's own heart. So how much more us? We are to be delighted to do this, to do this work, to live this lifestyle, to follow his instructions, to do his plan, do his will, to do his purpose. I delight to do thy will, oh my power. Yea, your law is within my heart, my mind. His law should be within your heart, your mind. To not eat swine's flesh, to not commit adultery, to not call on Caesar Borgia, to not believe in prosperity gospel, to not believe in Esau Edom, the so-called white man and his government in his way, to not depend on his government, to not look for a future in this wicked, carnal, sinful world. Your law is within my heart, keeping the high holy days, the Sabbath days, the civil law, moral law, your dietary law. I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. And that's what we're doing now. The men of Great Millstone and the men of Like Doctrine, we are preaching righteousness. We are preaching righteousness in the congregation. And the congregation are the Israelites. Lo, look, I have not refrained my lips. I have not refrained my lips to teach the congregation. I have not refrained my lips to teach the Israelites. You blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, I have not refrained my lips. O Yahweh, thou knowest. Psalms 40, verse 10. I have not hid your righteousness within my heart. Absolutely not. The men of Great Millstone and the men of Like Doctrine, we teach his righteousness to you via the internet, via the highways and the byways. We teach righteousness to our family and friends. I have declared your faithfulness and your salvation. I am declaring his faithfulness and his salvation right now via the internet, on the highways and the byways, in an open forum, in a marketplace. I am declaring your faithfulness and your salvation, your deliverance, your will, your purpose, your plan. I have not concealed your loving kindness. I have not concealed your loving kindness and your truth from the great congregation. And like I said, I told you earlier, the great congregation are you Israelites, you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and Haitians. I have not concealed your loving kindness. His loving kindness waking us up to who we are, giving us his name, giving us his understanding, giving us his will, giving us his purpose, giving us the answers to the tests, giving us the breakdowns to the prophecies, telling us who our enemy is. That's his loving kindness. And your truth, your knowledge, your understanding is his truth. From the great congregation. Verse 11, Psalms 40. Withhold, Baba Kushar, withhold not your tender mercies from me in these last days. Baba Kushar. Withhold not your tender mercies from me in these last days. Baba Kushar. Keep this light on me, Baba Kushar, on the great congregation. Allow me to delight in doing your will. Endow me with supernatural power during Jacob's trouble. Deliver me into what the world calls a spaceship in these last days during World War III. Baba Kushar. Withhold not your tender mercies from me, Baba Kushar, O Yahweh. Let your loving kindness and your truth continually preserve me in these last days. What's going to preserve us in these last days? His loving kindness and this truth. His wisdom and stability and his knowledge. Let's read that again. That was beautiful. Psalms 40, verse 11. Withhold not, Baba Kushar, please. Thou withhold not your tender mercies from me, Baba Kushar, in these last days. O Yahweh, let thy loving kindness, Baba Kushar, let thy loving kindness, Baba Kushar, please, and your truth continually preserve me. So what's going to preserve you in these last days? Once again, his loving kindness and this truth, this knowledge, this wisdom of who we are, who he is, his purpose, his plan, the answers to the tests. Verse 12, for innumerable evils, innumerable evils. What is evil? Beginning ill, bad time. For innumerable bad times have compassed me about in 2025, 2026, under this damn devil Esau Edom. My iniquities, my sins, my continual sin have taken hold of me under this damn devil. Temptation everywhere. Everywhere you look, on TV, on the internet, women shaking their ass. Everywhere you look, showing food commercials of burgers and ribs and steaks and shrimp. Everywhere you look, temptation in this carnal, sinful, evil world of America with a triple K, under the damn devil Esau Edom, a so-called white man. I'm in verse 12 in Psalms 40. My iniquities have taken hold upon me, so that I am not able to look up. And that's the pressure. That's that temptation. What is temptation? Pressure applied to your flesh, affecting you to do videos, affecting you to live right. I order a cheese pizza, and then they put pork on it, and then they realize that they made a mistake, and they take the pork off and leave the pork grease on the cheese pizza. I ask for a Caesar salad with no bacon or ham, and I get ham inside the salad. I ask for a burger, a double burger, no bacon. I open up the bun, it's bacon on the burger. My iniquities have taken hold of me that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of my head. The temptation, the stress, the pressure, the temptation is more than the numbers of my head in these evil, bad times in America with a triple K. Therefore, my heart faileth me. My mind fails me. Dealing with this damn devil Esau Edom. Dealing with all this pressure and temptation. Verse 13, Psalms 40. Be pleased, Baba Kushah, O Yahweh, to deliver me. O Yahweh, make haste to help me. Let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Esau, Edom, Amalek, the so-called white man and the fake JEWs. They seek your soul. They seek after your soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil by putting swine's flesh on my pizza, putting swine's flesh in ground beef, putting swine's flesh in ground chicken, uh, having chicken sausage inside of a pork casing. They seek to destroy my soul. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil. Let them be desolate for a reward of their shame. They're saying to me, aha, aha, gotcha. You just had some swine's flesh. Gotcha. You just ate that cheese pizza with pork, with pepperoni sausage on it. You just bit into a burger that got bacon on it. Aha, aha. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. The Israelites, the saints, 144K. Let such as love your salvation say continually, the Lord Yahweh be magnified. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua. Let the Lord Yahweh be magnified and no one else. Verse 17, Psalms 40. But I am poor and needy. Yet the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, thinketh upon me, the water. You are my help and my deliverer out of this wicked, carnal, sinful world, out of this wicked, carnal, evil flesh. Make no tarry in Baba Kushah, Yahweh Shah. Oh, my power. Make no tarrying to come to destroy this wicked, carnal, evil world. Make no tarrying to deliver me out of this wicked, carnal, evil flesh. Baba Kushah. Oh, my power. That was Psalms 40, verse 8 through 17. Beautiful. Let me see if I can light this incense. It went out. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hold on, this thing, sometime it worked. I need to get me a new torch. Come on now. Come on now. Quit tripping on me. Bear with a brother. Okay, I'm about to use a regular lighter. Salaki Israel. Damn devil. Let me see if I can light it with this lighter. Bear with me. It's kind of windy out here. I think I got it done. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, all right. So that was Psalms 40, verse 8 through 17. Go to Hebrews. Go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 10. Go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 10. Hey, Shalom on the comment board. GMS Hopeful Elect 144, Fear and Trembling. Shalom Malak, Yabashim Shrakatah. Subscribe and be edified. Shalom, Shalom Malak. Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 7. Hebrews 10, verse 7. Then said I, lo, this is backing up Yahweh Shai being in the volume of the book. Then said I, lo, look, I come in the volume of the book. Yahweh Shai does. It is written of me to do thy will. It was written of Yahweh Shai to do his will. How much more is men? The servant is not greater than a master. If Yahweh Shai had to do his will, how much more you? The water Malak, Yahweh, the water Malak, Yahweh Brakatah for following me, Malak, the water. I follow you too, Malak. You know I do, baby. You know I do. Come on. Let's go to Hebrews. That was Hebrews 7, Hebrews chapter 10, verse 7. Let's go to, jump to verse 36. Hebrews 10, verse 36. Hebrews 10, start at verse 35. Hebrews 10, verse 5. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence. Con with for this faith. Cast not away your confidence. That's a commandment. Cast not away your confidence in these last days, that we will do his will, that we will delight in doing his will, his purpose, his plan, that he will deliver us. He will take pleasure in providing for us and delivering us and endowing us with supernatural power in these last days. Cast not away therefore your confidence, which has a great recompense of reward. And that reward is the new kingdom. That reward is immortality. That reward is ruling and reigning in righteousness forever in the new kingdom. Verse 36, Hebrews 10. For you have need of patience in these last days. Dealing with Jakey, Keisha Latino, Christian backslider, 2/3, infidel. You have need of patience, that after you have done the will of Yahweh, trying to minister to you, telling you the truth, telling you of his loving kindness, telling you of his mercies, telling you of his will. Jakey, Keisha, that after you have done his will, hitting the highways and the byways, doing the sit downs, dying daily to our flesh, doing his will, teaching the great congregation. After you have done the will of Yahweh, you might receive the promise of the new kingdom, of immortality, of incorruptible flesh. Verse 37, Hebrews 10. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, Yahweh Shai, and will not tarry. We just read that in Psalms 40, verse 17. Verse 38, Hebrews 10. Now, right now, the just, you Israelites, but mainly the 144K men, saints, as well as the 1/3 men, women, and children, we are just. And Lord willing, are part of that number. The just shall live by faith. Do you live every day, 24 hours a day, 365, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? Don't you live? Well, you ought to live by faith every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You ought to live by faith. The just shall live by faith. And if any man draw back, Jackie, Keisha Latino, backslider, unbeliever, infidel, Cesar Borgia lover, if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. We don't want that. We want Yahweh Shai's soul to have pleasure in us. Therefore we do his will. Therefore we delight in doing his will. Verse 39, Hebrews 10, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition. You damn right. And Lord willing, you keep that spirit on me, Baba Kushal, and on the elect men and the saints and the 1/3 men, women, and children. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. Point blank, period. That was Hebrews 10, verse 7, as well as verse 35 through 39. Go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. First Thessalonians chapter 5, start at verse 14. First Thessalonians chapter 5, start at verse 14. Now we exhort ye, brethren, warn them that are unruly. That's a commandment. Comfort the feeble-minded Israelites. That's the will of Yahweh. That's his plan. That's his purpose, to teach the great congregation of the Israelites of his loving kindness and mercy. Comfort the feeble-minded. Support the weak. Be patient, which is long-suffering toward all men of Israel and women. Verse 15, 1 Thessalonians 5. See that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, doing his will, both among yourselves and to all men of Israel. Verse 16, rejoice evermore. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. The water Yahweh Shai. Pray without ceasing. Point blank period. Pray without ceasing. Point blank period. Verse 18, in everything, listen good. In everything give thanks. The water Yahweh Shai. For this is the will. Ding, ding, ding. In everything give thanks. What it says, whether I be abased or abound, Paul said. There's another one that says, when you are changed to a low estate, and the Apocrypha, give thanks. It says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will, ding, 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 of Yahweh and Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, concerning you, Israelite. Quench not the spirit by adultery, doing drugs, lying, eating swine's flesh, eating crab, shrimp, lobster, shaving your beard, women being disrespectful, out of order, loud, men being beta males, calling on Caesar Borgia. Quench not the spirit. Despise not prophesying. Verse 21, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. What is good? Doing his will. What is good? Call on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Point blank period. That was 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 14 through 21. Go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, start at verse 1. My point is in verse 3. You know what? We'll go to verse 7. We will go to verse 8. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 1 through 8. My point is in verse 3. Furthermore, then we beseech you, beg you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that as ye have received of us how you ought to walk by doing his will, and to please Yahweh, point blank period, so ye would abound more and more. So in order for us to abound more and more in these last days, we ought to walk, live by faith, doing his will, his purpose, followed his instructions, and to please Yahweh, so you would abound more and more in these last days. Verse 2, 1 Thessalonians 4. For ye know what commandment we gave you by the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua. Verse 3, here's my point. For this is the will of Yahweh, even your sanctification, you being set apart, being different, that ye should abstain from fornication. What is fornication? Calling on Caesar Borgia, eating swine's flesh, committing adultery, lying, shaving your beard, being a beta male, being a lesbian, a bull dagger, women being loud, disrespectful, pants wearing weaves. You ought to be braiding your own hair. Hopeful elect lady, men, you should be rocking your beard. Verse 4, 1 Thessalonians 4, that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor by doing his will, by following his instructions, by fearing Yahweh and Yahushua, by walking in faith every day, by dying daily to your flesh, not in the lust of concupiscence. What is concupiscence? The highest level of lust. The highest level of lust is concupiscence. Not in the lust of concupiscence, even as the Gentiles which know not Yahweh. Jackie, Keisha, Israelite foreigner, you are full of concupiscence. You eat swine's flesh every day. You shave your beard every day. Jackie, Keisha, you put weaves in your hair every day. You're a bull dagger lesbian. You're a beta male man. You call on Caesar Borgia. You believe in prosperity gospel. You believe not. You're a Gentile, an Israelite foreigner, which know not Yahweh. The reason why you don't know Yahweh, Israelite foreigner, Gentile, is because you don't read Yahweh. Verse 6, 1 Thessalonians 4, that no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any matter, because that the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, is the avenger of all such, as we also have forewarned you and testified. For Yahweh has not called us unto uncleanness, eating swine's flesh, shaving our beard, doing drugs, being a liar, being a bull dagger, being a beta male, but unto holiness. Verse 8, he therefore that despiseth this law, this lifestyle, the name of Yahweh, Yahushua, he despiseth not man, but Yahweh, who has also given unto us his Holy Spirit, point blank period. That was 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 1 through 8. My point was in verse 3. Go to Colossians chapter 1. Go to Colossians chapter 1. Start at verse 9. Colossians chapter 1, verse 9. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you. Jake, Keisha Latino, backslider, Caesar Borgia lover. It says, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will. You see? The knowledge of his will. In all wisdom and spiritual understanding, comprehension. Are you understanding the words that you're reading? When I was in school, we had reading and comprehension. You read, and then do you understand what you read? Let's read it again. And I'm talking to you, Jake, Keisha Latino, Christian backslider, feeble-minded, Gentile, Israelite foreigner, prosperity gospel lover, Caesar Borgia lover. Let's read it again. Colossians 1, verse 9. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you feeble-minded, J.K. Keisha Latino, Christian, backslider, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of this understanding, of this truth, of the name, of his, be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding. Verse 10, that ye might walk worthy. That's why. That you might walk worthy of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, unto all pleasing. To be read in Psalms. Let me go back. I believe that was in Psalms 40. Let me back that up. Let's go back. Psalms 40 backs that precept up. Bear with me. Let me get it. Right. Verse 13. Colossians 1, verse 10 led me to back to Psalms 40. Let's read verse 10 again. Colossians 1, verse 10. That ye might walk worthy of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of Yahweh. Point blank, period. Go to Psalms 40, verse 13. Be pleased, O Yahweh. Be pleased, O Yahweh, to deliver me. O Yahweh, make haste to help me. So when we do his will, it says that ye might walk worthy of the Lord Yahweh unto all pleasing. It will be his will he will be pleased to give you men, and Lord will, a part of that number, supernatural power during Jacob's trouble. It will be pleasing to the Most High to deliver us up into a spaceship out of World War III, nuclear missile fire. So therefore we are to that we may be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and understanding, and spiritual understanding, that ye may walk worthy of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work. Being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of Yahweh every day. Increasing in the knowledge of Yahweh every day by being filled with his will and his all understanding and wisdom and understanding. Verse 11, Colossians 1, strengthened with all might according to his glorious power. Not your glorious power, not my glorious power, not Esau Edom's glorious power, Yahweh's glorious power. Unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness. Beautiful. We delight to do his will. You ought to delight to do his will according to scripture. Verse 12, Colossians 1, giving thanks unto the Father, the water Yahweh, Shah, which have made us meet sufficient to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light. That's the new kingdom. Don't you want to be a partaker in the inheritance of the saints? Don't you want to be a partaker of supernatural power during Jacob's trouble? Don't you want to be part of the partaking of being delivered into a spaceship out of World War III? Don't you want to be in the partaking of the new kingdom, being immortal, incorruptible, saints ruling and reigning in righteousness forever? You should, you ought to. In whom we have redemption, Yahweh Shai, through his blood. Have you, I have been redeemed. You have been redeemed, bought back, purchased back. Even the forgiveness of sins. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. That was Colossians 1, 9 to 14. Beautiful. Go to Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5. Start at verse 5. Ephesians chapter 6, start at verse 5. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh. Your father, your boss, the head of the camps, your landlord. Be obedient. Pay your bills. Come to camp. Be in order. Right? Come to work on time. Right? With fear and trembling. And when it comes to my the head brother Mawatazak, GMS Los Angeles, I don't fear him, I respect him. That's what the most I want. When you fear someone, you respect them. I don't want to get kicked out. I don't want to get put on suspension under the leadership of Elder Mawatazak, GMS Los Angeles. With fear and trembling, you ought to respect your boss because he will fire your ass. Then you can't pay your bills. You ought to respect your landlord because he will put your ass out. Right? Check this out. Ephesians 6, verse 5, second half. In singleness of heart, one mind of heart, Yahushua, as unto Hamashiach. Verse 6, Ephesians 6, not with eye service. Not the only time you do your work is when your boss is looking. And then as soon as he's not looking, you go back to bullshit. Not with eye service. I don't just come to camp with my garment on, then when I leave camp, I'm an asshole. I don't do my homework. I don't do videos. Not with eye service. As men pleasers, you don't want to be a man pleaser. You want to please Yahweh Shai. That's why I said in verse 5, in singleness of your heart, as unto Mashiach. Not with eye service, men pleasing, but as the service of Hamashiach, doing the will, ding, 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 of Yahweh from the heart, with good will doing service, delighting in doing thy will, enjoying hitting the highways and the byways, enjoying doing videos, enjoying coming to camp, enjoying being in order under my camp leader, Mawatazak, the head brother of GMS LA, and the other elders, Danyala, Micah Allah, Yelai, Amawan, Elder Barak, Elder Tazadak, Elder Uriah. It says, verse 7, Ephesians 6, with goodwill doing service as to the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I'm doing this as to the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not man, not for eye service, not men pleasing. It says, and not unto men. Verse 8, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man does, the same shall he receive of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You must do this with sincerity. You must be genuine and sincere in order to be part of this inheritance, to be a partaker into the kingdom. You must be genuine, sincere, committed. You must enjoy doing what it takes to get the job done. You must enjoy doing what it takes to get the job done. Week in and week out. Living by faith daily. Verse 8, Ephesians 6, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man does, the same shall he receive of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, whether he be bond or free. Point blank, period. And the last verse goes into the masters. So that was Ephesians 6, verse 5 through 9. Beautiful. Romans 12. Hey, Shalom, GMS Hopeful Elect 144 underscore fear and trembling. Subscribe to be edified. The brother put up Matthew 18 and 20. Let me get that. Matthew 18 and 20 off the comment board. GMS Hopeful Elect 144 fear and trembling. Matthew 18 and 20. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. And that's that great congregation. That's the church of the Israelites. And Yahweh Shai is there. That's why only the men of Great Millstone and the men of Light Doctrine, we see chariots. You don't hear HOI seeing chariots. You don't hear ISUPK talking about seeing chariots. You don't hear Sons of Thunder talking about seeing chariots. You don't hear Wi-Fi talking about seeing chariots. You don't hear Assad and Deacon Hakah, dumbasses, saying they see chariots. You don't hear Captain Cesariak talking about he's seeing chariots. Same brother, Hebrews 10, verse 25. Bear with me. Hebrews 10, verse 25. Same brother. Not forsake the assembling of ourselves together, week in and week out. The men of Great Millstone, the men of Light Doctrine, we get together week in and week out, every weekend. And on these sit downs, on the comment board, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. And what day is approaching? When Yahweh shall crack these clouds. So we exhort one another daily. Why it's called today. That's why the just shall live by faith every day. Every day. That's why Apostle Tahar gave an order, a command, minimum 3 videos a week, maximum 1 video a day. You got to exhort brothers daily. We live by faith daily. So we're supposed to do videos daily, study daily, exhort daily, edify daily, die to our flesh daily. Con. Let me see, because I got this thing ain't let me see that last. You said something about love doing his will. Con. That's right. Enjoy doing his will. You damn right. Call on you. How about you? I shot the water a lot. You got me fired up now. Let's go to Romans chapter 12. The water. Romans 12. Once again, GMS, Hopeful Elect 144, fear and trembling. Subscribe and be edified. Romans 12. Romans 12, verse 1 and 2. Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. I beg you, beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, by the mercies of Yahweh, he's merciful, full of mercies, that that you present your body as a living sacrifice. Out here on the highways and the byways, risking my life and my freedom to do so, dealing with the elements, not behind some keyboard like a coward, Present your body as a living sacrifice, holy, being sanctified, set apart by doing his will, by delighting in doing his will, by enjoying doing his will. Acceptable unto Yahweh. That's what we want to be, accepted or accepting unto Yahweh in these last days, which is your reasonable service. Reasonable service. Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Caesar Borgia, he wasn't behind a computer or hide behind four walls teaching like Pastor Pervert or Bishop Bacon and Deacon Dildo do. He was on the highways and the byways with his disciples teaching. How much more is men? Verse 2, Romans 12. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed, changed by the renewing of your mind. Our mind has been renewed, therefore we are different. We're changed. That ye may prove by changing, by renewing your mind. That you may prove by changing, renewing your mind, being not conformed to this world, that you may prove what is that good. So it is good to be not conformed to this world. It is good to renew your mind. It is good to be transformed. What is that good and acceptable? Your mind got to be renewed to be acceptable to Yahweh Shai. You got to be changed, conformed to be acceptable to Yahweh Shai. Your mind got to be renewed to be acceptable to Yahweh Shai. What is that good and acceptable and perfect will? That is the good and perfect will of Yahweh Shai, to be changed, to be renewed, to be conformed, to not be conformed. That acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. Point blank, period. That was Romans 12, verse 1 through 2. Romans 12, verse 1 and 2. Bear with me, someone's coming. Excuse me. You got enough room, I think? All right. Enjoy y'all day. All right, thank you. That was Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. Let's go to John chapter 6. The book of John chapter 6. John chapter 6. Bear with me. Let me see where I want to go. John chapter 6. Start at verse 32. My point is in verse 40. John chapter 6. Start at verse 32. My point is in verse 40. These are the words of Yahweh Shai in red. John 6, verse 32. Then Yahweh Shai said unto them, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, Moses gave you not the bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. The true bread from heaven is Yahweh Shai. Verse 33, for the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven. Who is that? Yahweh Shai, the son of Yahweh, and giveth life unto the world of Israel. Verse 34, then said they unto him, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, evermore give us this bread. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, I am the bread of life. These words, this understanding, this knowledge, this enlightenment, this will is the bread of Yahweh. He that cometh to me shall never hunger. I am not thirsty for answers anymore. I'm not thirsty with what's going on in life anymore. I am satisfied. fulfilled daily by the bread that came from heaven, which is Yahweh Shai. This word, this understanding, this knowledge, the name satisfies you. It says, he that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. Verse 36, but I say unto you, that ye also have seen me and believe not. Jake, Eve, Keisha, Latino, backslider, prosperity, gospel loving Christian. You have seen the men. When you see the men of Great Millstone, you see Yahweh Shai. We're in sales, he's in management. We're in sales, he's in management. We are his eyes, his mouth, his ears, his voice, his hands. But instead of watching the men of Great Millstone and the Men of Light Doctrine videos, you'd rather watch Netflix, a porn movie, read some bullshit-ass romance novel, go hit the club, get high, commit adultery. Verse 37, John 6, all that the Father giveth me shall come to me. The 144K saints, elect men, as well as the 1/3 men, women, and children. And Lord willing, I'm part of that number. And him that overcometh, Salakia, and he that cometh to me, I will in no wise cast out. That goes back to that Hebrews 10. Hold on. That goes back to that Hebrews 10. I believe that was Hebrews 10. Right. John 6, verse 37, led me back to Hebrews 10, verse 38 and 39. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, let me read John 6, verse 37 first. Words in red of Yahweh Shai. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that overcometh to me I will not cast out. John 6, verse 37 led me back to Hebrews 10, verse 38 and 39. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him, because he was not with Yahweh Shai. He was cast out. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. And Lord will, I'm part of a number of men that believe to the saving of the soul, that Yahweh Shai will not cast out, that I will not put down my plow, that I will continue in being delighted in doing his will, week in and week out, daily. John 6, verse 38. For I came down from heaven, words of Yahweh Shai, not to do my own will. We are not doing our own will, men. We are doing the will of him who sent us, that who we follow. But the will of him that sent me. Yahweh sent Yahweh Shai to do his will. And Yahweh Shai sent his men, and Lord will, I'm part of the numbers of men, to do his will. We're in sales, he's in management. Verse 39, John 6. And this is the Father's will. Listen good, which has sent me, that of all which he has given me, I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. Can't wait to those that died in the faith to be risen up in the last day. Us being delivered into a spaceship in the last day. Verse 40, John 6. And this is the will of him that sent me. Who sent Yahweh Shai? Yahweh. This is the will of Yahweh, that everyone would see if the Son, Yahushua, and believeth on him may have everlasting life, incorruptible, incorruptible, immortal, and I will raise him up in the last day. Like I said, those that died in the faith, raise them up in the last day, as well as deliver his men into a spaceship that are left on planet Earth, into a spaceship. And the Lord wasn't part of that number. That was John 6, verse 32 through 40. Beautiful. Go to John chapter 4. John chapter 4, right to the point. John chapter 4, verse 34. No. Start at verse 30. John chapter 4, start at verse 30. My point is in verse 34. John chapter 4, verse 30. Then they went out of the city and came unto him. In the meanwhile, his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. Eat, Yahushua. You haven't eaten all day, Master. Eat, eat, Yahushua. Eat something. Verse 32. Listen to what Yahushua said. John 4, verse 32. But he said unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. I gotta let this damn devil, these devils, put me to death. I'm the king of the universe, but I gotta allow a man to put me to death. John 4, verse 32. But he said unto them, I have meat to eat that you know not of. Therefore said the disciples one to another, hath any man brought him ought to eat? Here's my point. John chapter 4, verse 34. Yahushua said unto them, my meat, my will, my provision, my sufficiency is to do the will of him that sent me. My meat, my provision, my sufficiency, my will is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish the work. How much more us? How much more is men? 144K saint men that are left on planet Earth, and Lord wasn't part of that number. How much more us? It is our meat, our sufficiency, our provision to do the will of him that sent us. Who sent us, men? Yahushua. Who sent Yahushua? Yahweh. And to finish his work, that is our meat, our sufficiency, to do the will of Yahushua who sent us and to finish this work. And to finish this work. That was John 4, verse 30 through 34. Let me back that up real quick. Damn, what's that? Bear with me, let me get it first. Hold on. Damn, where is that at? Let me, bear with me. Bear with me, let me back this up if I can. Bear with me. Here we go. John 4, verse 34 led me to Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. We are in the days of our youth now, because he has given us the sufficiency, the meat, the provision, the desire, the delight to do his will. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Finishing the work. while the evil days come not. Because once the evil days come, we almost out of here. It says, nor the years draw nigh when you shall say, I have no pleasure in them. That was Ecclesiastes 12:1. Backed up that John 4:34. Let's go to Matthew chapter 26. A few more and I'm out. Matthew 26. Matthew 26. Matthew 26. Start at verse 38. My point is verse 42. Matthew 26. Start at verse 38. My point is in verse 42. Then said he unto them, these are the words of Yahushua in red. My soul is exceedingly sorrowful. What is your soul? Your mind, your will, and your emotions. Yahushua's mind, his will, his mind, his will, and his emotions were sorrowful. How much more us? His men. That he sent us. We're just like he was at the time when he walked planet Earth. Our soul is exceedingly sorrowful, being under this damn devil, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed. Do you lament? Do you pray? You ought to, I recommend it. Saying, oh my Father, Abba Nawa Yahweh, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. Oh Yahweh, sometimes we don't want to hit the highways and the byways. We tired. Our back hurt. It's cold. It's hot. Then, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. I'm hitting the block, regardless of how hot it is, how cold it is, how windy it is, raining. Verse 40, Matthew 26. And he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and said unto Peter, what, you could have not wait with me 1 hour? See, the disciples didn't have that will, that desire, that purpose like Yahushua had. That's why Yahushua is one of a kind. He's the example. We get tired, we get weak. Peter was tired. He fell asleep. Yahushua wasn't. Verse 41, Matthew 26. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation in these last days. Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. Fall into, commit adultery, do drugs, start eating swine's flesh again, eating crab and lobster again. Begin to start calling on Caesar Borgia again. Start shaving your beard again. Pray, watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. So that's our responsibility, men, to watch and pray that we fall not into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Verse 42, here's my point. Matthew 26. He went away again a second time and prayed, saying, Abba Nawa Yahweh, if this cup may not pass from me, except I drink it, your will be done. Except I drink it, your will be done. That's all we care about, is his will being done. Not my will, thy will be done. Point blank, period. One more and I'm out. No. Two more and I'm out. Matthew 7. Matthew 7. Start at verse 15. Matthew 7, start at verse 15. My point, we're going to go to verse 23. My point is in verse 21. Let's start at verse 15. Matthew 7, verse 15. Words in red of Yahweh our Lord and Savior. Beware of false prophets, pastor, pervert, bishop, bacon, deacon, dildo, prosperity gospel preachers. Beware of false prophets. Deacon Akah, Hassad, Captain Cesariak, Zabak. Who else? Wi-Fi, Sons of Thunder, IUIC, Nate the Snake. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Pastor, pervert, Bishop Bacon want to sleep with your wife, want to sleep with your daughter or your son. You shall know them by their fruit. Can't you tell that Pastor, pervert, Bishop Bacon, prosperity gospel preachers are false prophets? That Christianity is dead. Christianity is dead. You shall know them by their fruit. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs or thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. Right. The men of great millstone, Apostle Tahar, Gabar, Rakan, and Ramla. Look at the fruit. But corrupt trees bringeth forth evil fruit. IUIC, ISUPK, GOCC, Wi-Fi, Sons of Thunder, HOI, Catholicism, Christianity. Verse 18, Matthew 7. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth a good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, this is why, by their fruits you shall know them. Here's my point. Not every one that says unto me, Lord, Lord, Yahweh Shai, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's you 2/3. Jackie, Keisha, Latino, Christian, backslider. In these last days, you're going to be saying, who did you call on? Yawasaki, Yamaha, what was his name again? Oh, Yahweh Shai. All that say, Lord, Lord, it says, shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father, that is who is going to enter into the kingdom. He that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Yahweh Shai, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in your name have cast out devils? And in your name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Jakey, Keisha, Latino, Christian, prosperity, gospel lover, Cecil Boy J lover, Yahweh Shai is going to tell you, I never knew you. Ye that work iniquity. Point blank, period. Last but not least, and I'm out. Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12. And I'm outie 5,000. Matthew chapter 12. Start at verse 46. My point is in verse 50. Matthew chapter 12. Start at verse 46. My point is in verse 50. While he yet, this is when they had Yahweh Shai in captivity. It said, While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother, Yahushai's mother, and his brother stood without, desiring to speak with him. You know how you are when you're in jail? Your family want to speak to you. He was in jail, and his mother and his brother want to speak to him. Verse 47, Matthew 12. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with you. Speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, listen, who is my mother and who is my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my brother, my mother, and my brother. So his disciples, his men that he sent, they were his mother and his brother. In the spirit, how much more us? Brothers, sisters, we are all we got. And we are all we got to do this will of him that sent us, Yahushua. We are our mother and our brothers. We take care of each other. We support each other. We edify each other daily. We don't care about two-thirds Jacob believing Negro, Christian, Latino, backslider, prosperity gospel lovers. We don't care. We minister, but we don't care. Verse 50, and I'm out. Matthew 12, verse 50. Words the word of Yahushua. For whatsoever shall do, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is Yahweh, which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother. Point blank, period. This has been his will, his plan, with your brother Kawas Malat. President Lester was edifying to the point. Pray for me, I'm praying for you. Kwame Masharala, Rise, Israel. We got next, baby. Any day now, guaranteed. Can't wait, book it. Barakati Yahweh. Barakati Yahweh Shai. Barakati Yahweh. Barakati Yahweh Shai. Barakati Yahweh. Barakati Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem Arakat Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone that taught me this truth that rule well. Peace and salutation to the whole 144 elect. To the next one, Israel. To you, I say Shalom and Abba Babal DTA. You guys got a question?